Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Well, we are in southern Utah. Why? Because we live in southern Utah now. If you didn't see the past couple of videos, well, we moved and we are here in southern Utah. Today, though, we are in the Dixie National Forest and we're going to walk into a wilderness area. However, we're not collecting rocks in the wilderness area. The wilderness area is back. Wait, the wilderness area is back here. Dixie National Forest is back there, and that's where we're going to be doing some rock hounding at. But first, we want to walk up and we're going to check out the bristlecone pine trees, which are like 2,000, 2,500 years old, which that's very cool. They're very like gnarled and stuff. And then we're going to go pick up some agates, or, you know, depending on who you want to listen to, the people on the internet or experts that have written books, chalcedony with dendrites and different inclusions, which we can call an agate, or the lack of banding means that it's not an agate. That's, you know, let's have an internet fight down in the comments. Definitely engage with me down in the comments. Let's fight there. Huh? Okay. Yeah, high elevation as well. We're just shy of 10,000 feet. I'll try to keep the huffing and puffing to a minimum. Let's go look at some trees and then let's go look at some rocks. So this is the bristlecone forest. It's a little otherworldly. Very cool to see, though.
That one's really big.
Look at this little guy here. They're interesting looking trees for sure.
They don't look super healthy.
No, they kind of don't look super healthy. It's neat, though.
I mean, they're probably fine. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to look at some of these like that and think that it could be 2,000 plus years old, but it's just this little scraggly thing. Yeah, it's you see something like that have no needles on it. I assume they're dead. Then you got this little guy right here. Oh, those are very pokey. Okay, that's enough looking at trees. I can't cut or polish a tree, and I guess you wouldn't cut. Well, I guess you can cut a tree. Not here though, not in the wilderness. Time to head into the national forest. Let's look for these agates that are supposedly out here. I have some questions, okay? We are pretty close to Trailhead, which has, well, we'll probably stop up at Trailhead and you can check out the agates there as well. But those are, it's chalcedony with red and black dendrites. And then there's also some like more pale, white, creamy colored chalcedony with like lighter purple dendrites in it. And it's very abundant. So I'm curious if the material up here is going to be exactly the same. Because if it's exactly the same, maybe this area is not worth it. If it's different, well, maybe the area is worth it. What do you think of the bristlecones?
It's very different from anything we've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd say so. Pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I think we're at the spot. And wilderness area starts like right over there. But this is a great opportunity to either have Gaia with the public land layers on so that you can know what it is that you're looking at. That's a little lame.
There's a, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the chalcedony with dendrites right there. Nah. So it's clearly here. There's a little chip. Somewhat uninspiring, I guess. That's a little piece. I might take like some of these little pieces and just produce the specimen jar that I typically make, you know, where It's just a little handful of pieces kind of as my reference collection. We'll maybe walk a little bit more into there and see what we see. There's definitely little chunks. That's just kind of a clear, cracked up piece of chalcedony. And that's the problem with surface collecting, I guess. Nah.
Yeah. I feel like maybe this isn't the best use of time if you come out to this area.
That might be the case. One of the reasons I'm here is because this appears in the Rockhounding Utah book, and there's no photos of the material. They don't say anything. They're just like...
They said it's nice.
Yeah, there's no photos of the material. They say it's nice agate, which... I don't know. It has yet to be seen. I should say it's the end of June. It's the end of June, and it's pleasant up here. That's kind of one of the reasons why we moved here is because you have Dixie National Forest, 7,000 to like 11,000 feet up, and when it's cooking down below where we live, we can come up here, and it's gorgeous. Right here. Got that little piece there.
This one's got some nice orange on it.
All right.
I mean, I
got a couple here.
This is probably my best chunk so far.
All right. Yeah, hold that still. All right, you're standing on something.
I know.
Oh, that's just a little chip, isn't it? That's just a little chip.
Maybe this is a little, we're on the right track here now. Oh, I think this could be now that we've walked a little further away from the parking area, I feel like we're finding a little more stuff, but it's not too great. But it kind of reminds me of some of the spots we've been to in Central Oregon where you follow the directions in the book and you go exactly where they tell you and you're like, this is lame. And then you like look on like LiDAR or you get more information, you come back out and you're like, oh, it was actually like that way a little further, and it's really great.
The thing is, with the books, a lot of the GPS was probably placed after the fact. And the people that wrote them didn't actually use it on site. So they're kind of coming in after the fact and be like, this is where it is, which it may not be accurate. As opposed to the GPS on my website, currently rockhounding.com, and now it's on the screen because somebody complained about that. Everything is pinpoint accurate, quadruple checked, okay? Let's keep poking around here. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put you on the hood of the car, and we're gonna head up to Bryan Head. And you'll see the sheer abundance of agate up there, how cool it is. And I'm not ruling out the twisted forest trailhead area in Dixie National Forest, but I do think it's an area that I need to maybe do some more research on before coming back to. Enjoy the drive up to Bryan Head. We'll check out some agates up there, which we've gone to in the past. So you can always check out that video after you're done watching this. Maybe we can do a little bit of comparison of some of this material. Okay, so you saw on our drive from, well, the Twisted Forest Trailhead area, I stopped because we found a really big agate in the side of the road. Let's check that out. We're up at Bryan Head right now. So these are the two that we pulled out of the side of the road. That's not bad. Why don't you get that wet right there? So obviously we'll do a little cutting on these. Well, maybe we won't do a little cutting. My saw is not...
Eventually.
Eventually we'll do some cutting on them. But that's not bad. That's a hefty seam. And we'll get that fully cleaned up. But right now we are up here at Bryan Head. That is Bryan Head right in front of you. And well, we will be looking in this washer for some comparison material. So a location I've done videos at before, and well, there's like red and, well, I explained to you already what the kind of agate, chalcedony, that you will find up here. But let's collect some pieces because, well, all of the stuff that I have from here, this location, is still packed up. What do you got? Oh, that's nice. That'll be a good piece for some comparison photos. And that's a good piece for some comparison photos. Maybe we get a couple more like that.
Yeah.
We don't need much. You can kind of see we got some big, giant agate boulders in here. And it just kind of comes out of the mountain every winter. So that piece right there, you know, at least what's visible is probably 2 foot across, so a couple 100 pounds, easy. We'll head up, well, that's looking down. We'll head up here, we'll find some nice little chunks of that. Here's some. I think I'll take these two and probably call it good. Don't need no more. These ones?
Oh yeah, those are good.
Yeah, I'll take these. I'd just like to point out real quick that we are still in National Forest. You can kind of see out there at the horizon, that is the Cedar Break National Monument, which you cannot collect rocks in, but it is incredibly pretty. That little dust cloud right there, that was the marshal in Bryan Head. Stopped and asked if I found any good rocks, and I did. And he said he also found some good rocks out here. Nice guy, nice guy. Well, we're gonna wrap this one up. I got some good stuff to do some comparisons with you back in, well, at the shop. So we can compare what we got here and then a little bit farther away down there. I think it'll be interesting, and I'll catch up with you back there. We are back from the Dixie National Forest. I have 3 little piles of rock here that represents the material that we found out there. Right here we have these little pieces, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, are not all too bad for what they are. I mean, they are little pieces of chalcedony with like different inclusions. Obviously, a lot of these are really fractured up, but I mean, probably one of the cooler parts of it was actually going in and checking out the bristlecone pines.
Yeah.
But you know,
that was probably the main attraction of the spot.
That was kind of the main attraction. These, like, what are you gonna do with these? Like, a lot of this stuff is gonna be yard fodder for me. Some of them, you do have like some nicer little pieces, okay? Which I guess that's all right. I mean, obviously we got these little A little chunk of chalcedony there, which isn't the worst. But this back here is way more impressive, which came out of a road cut as we were driving from the Twisted Forest Trailhead area all the way over to Bryan Head, and you know, that looks significantly better, especially if you imagine like placing a cut there, and we just kind of cut that white crusty bits off. Now, this kind of reminds me a little bit of the material that comes from Fiddler's Canyon.
Yeah.
Because that, a lot of this I was able to dissolve off, and just kind of left this like pock-marked piece of chalcedony, but then slicing the seam out worked really well. And obviously you got this piece back here, which that's a significant chunky piece. Looks pretty nice, I think. And this wasn't even the biggest piece at that road cut. There's a piece that was way too big to move. It's probably still attached, so that's definitely a factor. And then we swung in up at Bryan Head, and you have pieces like this that have these little red dendrites. I think it's quite lovely. Let's see, another good one was, we're looking at, really just trying to do some comparisons here between the two, because Bryan Head is way more abundant. And I do think these are a good representation, these pieces where you get like clear chalcedony with some like light dendrites coming through. Pretty nice. You can actually do stuff with this material. That was my phone. I screwed up. You can actually do some good stuff with this material. In hindsight, I would maybe skip the Twisted Forest. Okay, maybe check out some of the road cuts up there, but like, There's
like, a lot of agate up there. If you can get colorful stuff or big stuff, it doesn't really make sense to wander around for little tiny mediocre pieces.
Yeah, like in the national forest outside of the wilderness. Like,
you're right on the border of the wilderness area, so you have to make sure you're not crossing that border and collecting where you shouldn't be. So it just kind of feels like maybe don't bother.
Well, yeah,
But do go up to the Twisted Forest. Go visit the trees. I
agree. I don't think it's worth it for a rockhounding location that was like, in the books. And but we got some nice pieces, especially that. That's a very beautiful piece. I like the red and the black. It's kind of split in half there. I think you found this. I think you handed this one to me.
For red ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the draw up there, right? Is to like find pieces with a lot of color to it. So, well, here's my little comparison of some of the stuff that you can find up there in the Dixie National Forest. I'd go to Bryan Head, maybe check out some of the different road cuts on some of the logging roads. Seems like obviously it has some promise, especially if you're maybe earlier in the year. Obviously, it does get very cold and snowy up there, so that's something to be mindful of. But any last thoughts there?
No, it's a great. This feels like you could find it maybe walking around anywhere out there. These little chunks.
Yeah, these little chunks.
Abundant, so, but I mean, it is.
These will go probably in the yard. I'll keep that. I'll keep these. We'll keep some of that. But the little stuff up there, I don't know. All right. Well, thanks for coming by, everybody. Checking out what we found up there. And go check out the website, currently rockhounding.com. And there'll be some links down below. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.